Yes, hope reigns eternal in humanity's breast. And as we know, sometimes IT works and sometimes it doesn't. This is one of these times, ladies and gentlemen, because I want you to get this clip live and how much our speaker means to me. And I was noticing I was just breezing there because he just creates energy. Energy flows where money goes. And that is Executive Coach Hughes. And so I'm going to bring him up here and I am going to give him his introduction so I can pour into him as he pours into others over and over and over. And I can say, Cory, what you do is second to none. You are an executive coach. You are a man who is not only a husband, a father, you are someone who has given himself into being exactly what you say you're going to do. That's you, executive coach, absolute speaker, best-selling author, created an initiative with Hurricane Harvey that I just went, wow. Okay. You look up the Black Cross Project on Facebook. Cory, that was amazing. And we're going to do this amazing thing, but this is what you do as a servant leader. Cory, you come in and say, no problem. And then you find out, wow, this guy's the real deal. Wow, he has connections. Wow, he's famous. You know, when people have to tell themselves how good they are, you go, oh, no. Cory is truly someone who leads from behind, shows the way because he knows the way. That is you, Cory. And frankly, with what you've done with our initiative here with Hurricane Ian, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And it's really, if you're going to be a duck, you're gonna waddle with ducks. If you want to be an eagle, you're going to fly with eagles. Think about Josh Payne, the financial fireman of firemen. What did he do? He says, Jody, you need to meet this guy. You guys are going to be like connected. And then he connected us on this amazing audio app, Clubhouse. Then he goes ahead and says, I said to him, well, Josh, I think we're going to be like Forrest Gump. We're going to be peas and carrots. Then we came up with peanut butter and jelly. And you chose peanut butter, not because the color of your skin, which is amazing. By the way, you look good in caramel. But you know what it is, Cory? You are smooth as peanut butter. You soften when you need to soften, and you smooth the path for others to follow. So I want to say welcome to Mindset Monday. Welcome to joining us with our initiative on Hurricane Ian. And just thank you for being in not only my life, but the people's lives that you so affect. Welcome, Cory Hughes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Joe. It is an honor to be here. Listen, I always smile ear to ear whenever I hear her voice, when I see her face, because she is such an amazing person, has so much energy, and just has a passion for people. And anytime I see somebody like that, and then they have an initiative to not only, harness that energy personally, but they want to give that energy to other people, then I want to be a part of it. And like you said, the moment we connected on the phone, it was like peanut butter and jelly. And we came up with that because I came up on peanut butter and jelly. Jelly is not as good without peanut butter, and peanut butter is just as not as good without jelly. And so you got to have it. And so I'm honored to be here with you today, Jelly. I'm honored to serve you and serve the community and serve the people in Florida. And I'm just excited to be here. And big shout out to Josh, right? Because Josh was the one who connected us. He is a firecracker. He's a man of wisdom. He's a mover and a shaker. And I'm honored that he valued me enough and valued you enough to connect us together.
And absolutely, Cory. And thank you for the honor of saying that I was sweet as jelly. I remind my family on that very often these days. So thank you for that. So let's get into it, shall we? I mean, we could be on here for like 2 hours. So we're just going to hit the high spots. I would love to hear a little bit about you. You don't just grow up, be born and say, I'm going to be a coach. What about your wisdom and vision? Say, this is what I want to do. And I will just say one other thing. People can say they're a megapreneur. They can say they're an entrepreneur. That's one thing. But many people are a solopreneur and they don't make the shift to serial entrepreneur and become a mentor and coach like you are. So how did that progression happen and occur?
Well, Dr. Jody, I often ask people, and I'm sure the viewers can relate to this, but have you ever seen somebody in life that was bullied? And when we were in school, you think about somebody who was bullied, and oftentimes that person that was bullied was extremely smart. They were a little shy. Maybe they had some home circumstances that made them a little bit of an introvert, but you could always see talent in them. And the reason I always bring up that particular story about being bullied was because I was bullied. You know, you wouldn't believe it. Right now, I'm 6'1", 250 pounds. I do a lot of great things in my community. I was an athlete. But when I was coming up, I was bullied. You know, I was picked on. I was teased. I was shut out of a lot of things. And I went through a dark season of depression and discouragement, not really knowing who I was. And oftentimes, when you come out of those seasons, for me, my heart for people is not to go through what I went through. And so my life's passion is to help people that have been disenfranchised, that have been bullied, that don't really know who they are. Allow society and social constructs to maybe push them out and make them feel like they can't do it because they didn't have the proper upbringing. I won against the odds. You know, I was from Southside Chicago. I came from a broken home. I came from an abusive home, full of drugs and physical and mental abuse. But yet I didn't quit. It was something in me that told me that greater is he that is in me than he that is of the world. And so because I believe that, because I held on to that, because I held on to Romans chapter 8, that says all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. That is what sustained me. Mm-hmm. And I also recognize that in order for me to reach my highest potential, I had to go through, and it had to be somebody to come along in my life to tell me, hey, son, you're not a chicken, but you're an eagle. You may have gone through chicken experiences. You may have gone through, tragedy, but you are an eagle. And so because somebody lifted me up, all my desire is to help lift up other people up and to get them to see the best version of them, that failure is not fatal, that just because you've gone through tragedy does not mean that you cannot triumph. And so I have a passion to help people, to build people, to encourage people. And so just a little bit about me. We could go on and on and on, but I'm a victor. I've been victorious, and I want people to be victorious as well.
My goodness gracious. You see, ladies and gentlemen, he just drops gems and they shine like the light that you are. Cory, from failure to fatal, you were bullied, yet you became a beast. From victim to victor, chicken, an eagle. I'm really glad. See, we knew we were connected when I said that we were eagles, we're not ducks. And that's frankly, right. I got to tell you something, Cory, my brother. My life verse is Romans 8:28. So wow. There you go. We are connected, spirit, mind, and body. Absolutely. And I want to just go before we go into this Hurricane Ian initiative and how you did this and how people can be a part of this. Let me tell you something. You absolutely, when you talk about, and by the way, you've got a program with tax to solutions. And boy, that is, see that you've got a serial entrepreneur, because not only does Cory talk when he talks about mindset, vision set, tool set, and asset. You have said that over and over on Clubhouse. That has just resonated to my core. That is something that I think our audience needs to hear about on Mindset Mondays. Please go in.
Absolutely. One of my favorite scriptures, Dr. Jody, also is Mark chapter 2, verse 22. All right. And so for those that are watching this, I want you to remember that verse. I want you to go back tonight. I want you to study that verse. It's Mark chapter 2, verse 22. And this is what it basically says. It says, God will not put new wine into old wine skins. Right. And so this is a mindset message, because most people have a desire to achieve great things. They want to acquire properties. They want to start businesses. But here's the reality. God will not give you that gift until first your mindset changes, because the scripture says that the new wine will burst out the old bag from the seams. And so it's some things that God wants to give you that literally has a reservation with your name on it, but he's waiting for you to shift the way that you think. I believe it's also in Romans that it says that we are to be ye transformed by the renewing of our mind, right? By the renewing of our mind. And so if you put those two scriptures together, God says, when you renew your mind, I can give you some new wine. And so your success is not in your talent. It's not in your bank account. It's not in your connections. It's in your mind. So a man think of in his heart, then so is he. And so the problem is, Dr. Jody, some people, their mind is shaped by their life experiences. And they think that what they went through was meant to define them. But the reality is it's meant to refine you, to refine the way you think, for you to see things different. I think it was Josh. I stole this from Josh. Josh said, when I changed how I looked at things, I also changed what I looked at, right? And so you
Woo!
start
Say
thinking
that
different.
again. Say that
When I
again.
changed, I believe Josh said, when I changed how I looked at things, I also changed what I looked at. And so when there's a shifting in the way that you think, then you experience life different. You process life different. You go through life different. You're not a victim, but you're a victor. You realize that all things do work together, even when the all doesn't seem good, even when the all seems like it's breaking you down, even when the all seems like it's setting you back. But when you shift your mind, you understand that that setback was a setup for a comeback, right? And so that's the way we have to shift the way that we think. And it all starts with your mindset. And once you change your mindset, then you will identify that God, he birthed you in this planet with a tool set and a skill set. But the reality is you don't see your tools and your skills because you ain't shifted your mind. And if you don't believe me, Dr. Jody, you look at David. David went to fight Goliath, and David was literally a modern day Uber driver. His father sent him to take lunch to his big brother. And when he pulled up to drop off the sandwiches, he recognized there was a guy named Goliath who was terrorizing the town. And he said, I'll fight him. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? He said, I'll fight him. And watch this, Dr. Jody. Saul, who was the king at the time, said, here, take my armor, right? And David said, no, I'm not going to take your armor because I have a tool set, which was a rock and a slingshot. And I also have a skill set that was developed while I was fighting the lion and the bear back on the farm. And so, in other words, his mindset elevated his skill set and his tool set, which caused his whole life to elevate where he became the king. And so it all starts with mindset, right? It all starts with the way you see life, the way you process life, the way you look at life. And then once you change your mind, Dr. Jody, then you can recognize that God gave me a tool that if I really polish that tool and I really apply myself, that I've got a skill set that can change the world, that can create legacy, that can impact people. But it all starts with your mindset, your skill set, and your tool set. And then once you get that, you'll realize that your life has always been an asset.
And you are such an asset. Now, I have to ask you privilege, which will be recorded on live TV, because in my book, with this coming out, my personal solo book on the 25th of February, the 21 days to your best you, my whole chapter 10 is your seeds of greatness. I talk about David. Can I quote you and give you credit for calling David a modern day Uber driver? That is priceless and precious. I mean, you just have such a message. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're going to be listening over this and you're going to be, oh, rewind. You can get the rewind. You can get it on Traverse TV. You can get it on my Facebook page. You can get it on YouTube because you're that good. That's what you do in mentoring people. And before I get into this, I want you to spend a couple minutes on your master and how people can get a hold of you. You can see it's at Cory L. Hughes. It's the L because he is a legend. He is a leader. Don't forget it. All right. Then you've got this amazing mastermind that you're doing it. But why should people care about our initiative with Hurricane Ian? Just please share your experience with Hurricane Harvey and why, people want to know what's in this for me? Why should I care?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, listen, Maya Angelou, who is a great poet, great author, she's since gone on to be with the Lord, but she had one of my favorite quotes. And she said, people may not remember what you say, they may not even remember what you do, but they will always remember how you make them feel, right? And so people need to feel like we care. Dr. Jody, last time I was on your show, I talked about the Good Samaritan. And I talked about how the priest and the Levite, how they seen this man that was beaten and broken and they walked away from him, how disparaging and discouraged they had to feel. But a good Samaritan came along that had no skin in the game, that didn't know him. He was just traveling and he recognized that this person was hurt and he rendered aid. And I thought to myself, how many times in life have we been in a situation before where we just wanted to know somebody cared. We wanted to know somebody saw us, somebody heard us, somebody could feel us. And the reason that I think that everybody watching should get involved, the reason I get involved is because I recognize that I am here today but just as easily with the snap of a finger or a hurricane, I could be them tomorrow. And if I found myself in a situation where everything that I had was lost, I just hope, and I've got enough hope in humanity that somebody would come along and they would be a blessing to me and they would help me. Because the scripture says that be not deceived, for God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, he shall also reap. And I want you to sow blessings, and I want you to sow help, and I want you to sow aid into people that need you, that you may have never met, may have never saw them. They may be too prideful to even ask for help, but they need help. And when you know that somebody needs help, we stand up and we get up and we do something. And so I think we have to get involved. I think we should get involved. And that's the reason that I'm involved, Dr. Jody.
And I'm so blessed that you're involved. Be the Samaritan. Ladies and gentlemen, will be, you can see this on the bottom screen, hurricaneian.world/GoFundMe. When we're on our way to raising $1 million, we will do this. And these people have been vetted. These people are people that through the community that we have been vetted. We have gone to government agencies and we have seen people locally, and we know that these are the best in need. Stay tuned. We will be doing videos after the 17th and 18th so you can see where your dollars have personally gone. And I can tell you, Cory, I want to switch gears in the last minute to let people know that they can find you at Cory L. Hughes, but you have a mastermind. Can you tell, ladies and gentlemen, he has mastered his mind. He is his own mastermind. And this is where you can see this amazing man, no myth. He is a legend. That's the other L that stands for Cory L. Hughes. Use that. ph2mastermind.com. But I want to say also, when you go to his website, this boys trucking philanthropy that he is doing on his own initiative will be up and running. You can get information as you go to corylhughes.com. But let's know how people can get involved in your mastermind because they want to be like you, peanut butter.
Absolutely, Miss Jelly. And so, I tell people all the time, I have a college degree. As a matter of fact, I've got a couple of college degrees. And one of the things that I noticed about some of my instructors is that they were teaching subjects that they had no actual experience in, no actual life experience. And so I tell people all the time that I'm not a university instructor, but I've actually gone out and I've built 3 7-figure businesses over the course of the last 16 years. And so I'm not just telling you how to build a business in theory, but I've actually done it in real life. And so my PH2 Mastermind course is a course that is specifically designed for people that are looking to supplement their income. Listen, we're living in a time right now where the news is talking about, a potential recession. The housing market may potentially crash. Interest rates are going up. And listen, all you got to do is pay attention. And major companies are laying people off by the masses. Well, one of the things I believe that has secured my future and will secure your financial future is entrepreneurship. And one of the vehicles that I teach people how to drive in entrepreneurship is in the tax industry. It is something that every single person watching this video, Dr. Jody, every person that's impacted by the hurricane, every person you see on social media, one thing for sure and 2 things for certain, they have to do their taxes. And I show people how to make money really from the comfort of their own home based on something that the government has mandated for everybody to do. So this mastermind course is for just a few people. It's for that person that says, hey, I'm thinking about entrepreneurship, but I haven't really found the right vehicle. Let me tell you, taxes is a low barrier entry, and you can literally start making money within the next 30 to 60 days. The second person is that person who says, hey, I'm already in the tax business, but I want to scale. Listen, you're talking to a guy that within 3 years, I opened up 42 locations, hired over 350 tax preparers across the nation. I've made millions of dollars, and I've created several millionaires myself. And that third person is that person that says, hey, I got a tax office, but I'm just really surviving, but I'm not thriving. I'm going to show you what we did to take our tax office to the next level. Dr. Jody, also, I just want to throw in there right here, but I also wrote a book this year, and the name of that book is called 10 Steps to 100K in the Tax Business, right? This book is on Amazon, and I wrote that book for people to say, hey, if I'm not ready to subscribe to the mastermind course, let me get this book. And I assure you, even if you're not in the tax business, this book is going to help you with skill sets, tool sets, and the mindset that it takes to scale any business. And so the PH2 Mastermind is specific for taxes, but stay tuned. I've also got a mastermind coming out very soon about mindset. And so if you tap in with me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter at Cory Hughes, follow me. I assure you what I'm going to do is help elevate your mindset so that you can go and be the best version of you.
Is that right? 10 steps to 10K in the tax business?
10 steps to 100K in the tax business.
100K. I thought it was a month. See, he always elevates. He always elevates no matter what. I can tell you, Cory, you are 100K. Do you think that would be good? Do you think the ph2mastermind.com is good? Guess what? He takes people from good to great. I always say pH. In the health business, you got to check your pH. I tell you, you know how to do that pH2. As our coach and mentor says, it's humble and hustle. Thank you, Cory, for I knew this would fly by. If you saw all the hearts and emojis and this, that, and the other, because they feel you. Thank you, Cory, for being here on Mindset Monday. We'll see you in Clubhouse and see you on the 17th and 18th. Just hang around in the back channel. I'll be right back. Okay?
I love you. I love you, Dr. Jody. I love your people. Listen, please give. Go to that website and make sure that you give. The people are in need. And listen, man, I'll say this before I go. The scripture is very clear. It says that God gives seed to the sower. So the more that you sow into people, the more God will send seed to you so that you have seed for you and seed for everybody else. There's a seed time and harvest time. And so God has blessed you, not just for us, but he's blessed us so that we can bless other people. And so I want to encourage you to give. I thank you so much, Dr. Jody, for your time. And listen, man, I'll see you guys on the other side. God bless you.
Beautiful. Just hang around just for a minute. So yes, it's true. So SEW, so you can sow your seed. SO. Boy, oh boy, I told you he's a legend. You feel the real, so you can go ahead and be your mental best, because when you're the best, people will feel you. Didn't you feel, Cory? The gems he dropped, he's changed so that what he looked at changed it. He defined so you can be refined. And let me tell you something. Your mind gets SkillSet right here. The mind is refined, so you have new wine. Let's just go and make that new wineskin for you at the top of your day on this Mindset Monday. Just know and do this as though your life depends on it. Your mindset, your skill set, because guess what? It does. Mindset, be the best, feel you. And until, guess what? I got a surprise for you. We'll be back at 6 p.m. I told you it was going to be a double header Mindset Monday. Stack the Pack will be at 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Traverse TV and all social media platforms. So be back then. And until tonight at 6 p.m., this is Dr. J saying, as I always do, just have an absolutely healthy kind of mindset day. Ciao for now. There is hope.